presents Lincoln College Basketball on 88.9 FM and streaming live from the iHeartRadio app.
Hi, and welcome back to the University of St. Francis. Here again, I'm Nick Jackson, bringing it to you live as usual. And we got ourselves a good one here, the championship game here in the St. Francis Classic, as it is your Lincoln College Lynx versus the host team, the St. Francis. What are they? The Fighting Saints here in this one. It's right in front of me. I should have known that. But however, though, this is going to be a good one. Lynx come in 5-5 on the season here coming into this one, coming off a much-needed victory against Cardinal Stretch University. 83-49 was the final in that one. As, again, the Lynx were very victorious. Everyone played in that ball game. The Lynx on defense forced 12 steals and 25 turnovers total in that ball game and kind of ran away with it from the get-go. So hopefully they can do the same thing here today. Again, we're already rolling here in this one. Starting lineups have been announced. We are ready to go here from St. Francis University. Again, St. Francis coming off a win as well. Much needed win. They won 107-77 against Eureka College here in this one. So both teams 1-0 in the St. Francis Classic. And both teams now will try to take home that so-called imaginary trophy. Again, St. Francis in the home white, Lynx in the road black, as we're set to go here from Joliet. And it's won by Julian Powell, so the Lynx will have the first possession here to start the first half. Tyler Crumble, Latham Jr., Powell, and LaJavius Johnson are the starters here for the boys in black. And that will be your Lincoln College Lynx as Tyler to Crumble to Johnson now in the left side corner. He's going to pull up from downtown. No, off the rim and out. As St. Francis will pull down the board. And here comes Howard, Tyrone Howard. As you guys may know him from the Parkland days. Parkland and Lincoln both been some big rivals here in that one. Again, now that was a shot taken there by the St. Francis, but then again could not hit, and now coming the other way, they tip it out of bounds, and the Lynx going to lose it. So we're going back the other way. St. Francis with the basketball, still no score. And for St. Francis, however, in this one, as they have Bailey, Howard, Hughes, O'Darian, and I believe can't see quite the other number. There's only one more. 23, they say. Mikchek will be on the floor as he can't hit. Here comes Crumble with an offensive putback. He goes coast to coast. He can't finish, but Julian Powell is there for the putback slam, and the Lynx are on the board here in this one as Julian Powell getting things going here for the Lynx. As now, again, here comes St. Francis, the Fighting Saints back the other way, as it looks like Lysek hits a long three, and they go take the lead for the first time. 3-2 is our score, as here come the Lynx back now down the other way. Johnson trying to find Powell at the top of the key, instead throws it over his head to Latham Jr. Now to the right corner in Crumble. Crumble to the top of the key now in Latham. Latham guarded by Howard. Back to Crumble on the right side corner. He drives into the lane, kicks it back out to Latham. Latham catch and shoot in transition. No, too strong. Long rebound pulled down by Howard for St. Francis, and we're going back the other way. Again, Howard played at Parkland his first 2 seasons there. He was a Cobra, then transferred here to the University of St. Francis. Again, Parkland and Lincoln, they've had their fair share of moments in the JUCO, both now with Lincoln being NAIA. We won't see Parkland. JV, I believe, has a game coming up with Parkland down the stretch, as we now have a foul on the floor. Antonio Hughes drives in and was called for a foul. I believe it was LJ Johnson was the one to get called for that one. His first, team's first. And this one, now we're going to have a reset of the shot clock. And the first day, kind of interesting, didn't have the, the points on the scoreboard. Now we do here in this one, as that one's stolen away by Montez Crumble. Crumble now trying to push the pace to Tyler. Over to Latham Jr. in the right corner for 3. No. Powell put back. No. Still tipped in the air and pulled down by St. Francis and Michael Bailey. Howard now in the right corner. He takes a three, no short, off the side of the rim and pulled down by Johnson. And Johnson getting his second start here for Coach Pat Lepper in this one, as he'll feed it to Latham Jr. Junior from downtown, no. Rebounded by St. Francis as they're coming back the other way. Coast to coast was Howard, but instead he kicks it out to Bailey, but Bailey took too many steps before driving the baseline, and he's called for a travel. 3-2 is still our score here in the first 3 minutes of the ball game. St. Francis leading the way as they lead at 3-2. And Crumble Tyler playing the backcourt here. Johnson at the three as Tyler will hand it off to Latham. Latham back to Tyler. Tyler on the right wing, trying to drive into the paint. Instead finds Latham Jr. Now over to Crumble. Crumble trying to find Johnson, and Johnson, who was trying to run baseline, was trying to cut there. There's kind of a bad pass right behind him and throws it out of bounds. So we're coming back now down the other way. Still 3-2. Again, both teams had pretty good nights last night, both by 30-point victories or more. So it should be interesting on the defensive side of things. See how Lincoln matches up with St. Francis. Now, Mysek will have it. Throws it over to Howard at the top of the key with 9 seconds. He drives in, right side lane, kicks it out to Hughes in the corner. No. Now back to Mysek, and he takes a three. No. Rebounded by Powell for the Lynx. Pushing it in transition is Tyler. Tyler to Johnson in the corner. He's trying to drive into the lane, throws up a lob for Powell. He puts it off the glass and in. Not the greatest lob, but it does get the job done right there. Make it now 4-3. Lynx coming back the other way. Bailey at the top of the key gives it back to Howard. Howard, left free throw line extended, as now he hands it over to Adiron, and he cannot hit the long three right there, pulled down by Johnson. And here come the Lynx back the other way in the road black. St. Francis in the home white. Johnson bounce passes one now to Crumble. Crumble at the top of the key with 14 on the shot clock, looks to the left wing in Latham. Latham back down to Johnson, but stolen away by Howard. Howard trying to go coast to coast, back behind the back pass to Mysek, who was running the floor with him, and he lays it up and in for two. 8-4 now is the score. Saints on top, as Tyler now has that one stolen away by Bailey. Somehow still found Latham Jr. as he's trying to drive in. Almost had it poked away by Bailey and Hughes. Kicks it back out to Tyler, and they're going to reset. 14:40 left to play in the first half as Crumble feeds Johnson down low, working on Howard. He's double teamed, trying to find somebody. He finds Tyler. Tyler thought it was going to be picked off by Bailey. Instead, now he finds Johnson. Johnson makes one man miss, goes up with it, and finishes under the rack there as L.J. Johnson starting off with a much better night here in this one. And Johnson the other day had 8 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals in his first start for Coach Lepp. Went 3 of 13 from the field. Not used to seeing that from L.J. Johnson, and also not used to seeing him in the starting lineup either. Maybe that was just a little bit of nerves. See how he fares today as Howard drives baseline. Can't get that one to go. Montez with the rebound. Almost saved it from going out of bounds as well. Founds Latham Jr. as here they come back down the other way. Johnson now hands it off to Tyler. Tyler on the left wing. Guarded very closely by Mysek. Gets a screen from Powell and then takes a step back three. No, off the side of the rim and out. St. Francis pulls down the rebound as they come back down the other way. And Mysek trying to drive in. We're going to have an offensive foul as Trayvon Tyler was standing in there and took the charge, as Mysek again just could not control it all the way there. He's going to pick up his first, team's first as well here for St. Francis. And we did have some substitutions coming in. Matalassi came in as well as Gamazel for St. Francis, along with Goulet as well. Tyler now and the Lynx have the basketball down by 2. As Tyler now has it, we have a foul away from the basketball. I believe it's going to go down low on Lewis Holy, who also checked in for St. Francis. That's his first, team second here in this one. And now we have another whistle. I guess we quite weren't ready yet. As now they throw it out to Johnson. Johnson catch and shoot from downtown. Money. And with that maybe stoppage of play right there, kind of set up St. Francis, hesitated a little bit. And Johnson knocks down a long three, make it now 5 for him in the ball game as the Lynx retake the lead by 1. Here comes now the Fighting Saints back the other way as Howard with it on the left wing, trying to feed the big man down low. Holy back to Howard at the top of the key, trying to drive in right side lane, makes Latham shot fake, but instead throws it back up. No foul was called. Freeman, who just checked in for Crumble, pulls down the rebound. And Freeman had 11 the other night, coming off the bench as he drives straight to the rack. And he's going to draw a foul on Howard. And that's his first, team's third here in the ballgame as well. 9-8's our score. Again, both teams were cruising. I think they both had double-digit leads in that first 10-minute mark as Latham Jr. now throws it into Freeman. 12 and a half minutes to play. 9-8 is our score. 15 on the shot clock. Lynx with the basketball. Tyler handing it back off now to Freeman. Freeman to the right wing in Tyler. Tyler trying to drive in, goes into the lane, dishes it off the Powell down low. He cannot finish. Ball still loose on the floor, and now it ends up in the hands of Tyler, but we're going to have a foul going against Julian Powell underneath the basketball. So again, that's his first, team's second here. And this one here comes J.J. Turner into the ball game, along with Jordan Thornton for St. Francis. So it will be St. Francis basketball as they trail by 1. 9-8 is our score here early in the first half. And St. Francis moving the ball particularly well. Thornton trying to feed Gamazel. I believe Tyler got a piece of it. Now that one was a shot there by Goulet. Long three, no good. Rebounded by the Lynx as they're coming back the other way. Johnson in transition from downtown. No, we know he's capable of hitting that a time or two. As St. Francis come back the other way, Thornton goes coast to coast, drives in right side lane and puts it up off the glass and in. 10-9 is our score. Here comes the Lynx. This time it's to Trayvon from downtown, and this time it is in. As Trayvon, Tyler, and Javius Johnson both showing some NBA caliber range here early in this first half. Now, Gamazel will drive in, left side lane, puts it off the glass, can't get it to go. It's about 3/4 of the way in, but came all the way back out. Turner pulls down the rebound as Tyler now with it into the lane. Kicks it back out to Johnson. Johnson now to Tyler in the left corner. Back to Johnson. Johnson catch and shoot from the top of the key. Yes. And you hear it, nothing but net. As it's kind of got that little swish sound going for it. One of those old school kind of rims. And when you hit nothing but net, it kind of makes that great sound. And Johnson hit it right there. Very pure shooter is L.J. Johnson. He's got 8 here already for the Lynx. St. Francis now, and Gamazel hands it off now to Thornton. Thornton on the left wing. He's going to try to answer from downtown. No, too strong. Tyler pulls down the board. Here they come now back the other way. Tyler in transition from downtown. No, off the front of the rim. Gets his own miss, though. Read it all the way. Kicks it back out to Johnson. Look for him to maybe pull up yet again. I'm sure Coach Webb wouldn't appreciate it, but he's going to do it anyway. And yes, again, you already know L.J. Johnson on fire here early. He's got 11 of the 18 here for the Lynx. And I'm sure this L.J. Johnson was not in the scouting report, as he's barely been in the starting lineup. Here comes St. Francis now back the other way. Thornton with it. He'll hand it off. Gets a screen, goes to the right side of it. He stands at the top of the key. Gamazel trying to answer from downtown. No, short. Long rebound in the hands of Latham Jr. Has Freeman running in transition along with L.J. Johnson. He feeds Johnson in the corner. Johnson lost control of it. Gets it back, though. Tips it back to Latham Jr., as it probably could have been a double dribble, but instead they got away with one right there. Latham couldn't hit the jumper, the mid-range that he so desperately needs. As now here comes St. Francis back the other way. A 3 from the corner by Riley Goulet. No. Rebounded by the Lynx as L.J. Johnson, man, really having himself a game. Look for him in the corner. Also, too, wanted to say, just because he walked right past me, so he kind of got the gist that he was going to be on the radio. 18-10 is our score. 9.5 minutes left to play. Lynx leading the way here thanks to L.J. Johnson having 11. Tyler now trying to drive in, stops at the free throw line, kicks it back out to Freeman. Freeman puts up a little floater off the front of the rim. No. Rebounded by St. Francis. And Lewis Holy, as here they come back the other way. Goulet takes the three, no good. Yet again, this Lynx team going to slowly bring it back up the floor. And now we're going to have a 10-second call here in this one because the Lynx are going to be lackadaisical as Johnson was bringing it up the floor, handed it off to Freeman, and Freeman was messing with his hair a little bit and not worrying about the shot clock, and it got down to 20, and he was right on the line. That's one of those borderline type of calls, but early in a ball game to set a tone, I think it was the right call. The ball was not all the way across there, and it's going to be a 10-second call every time. So St. Francis now will have the basketball back. They trail by 8 as Thornton now with it, trying to drive in. Baseline, puts up a floater off the left side of the glass. No. Tip back by Holy. No. Rebounded by Tyler. Johnson now bringing it up the floor. Give and go with Turner as he kicks it over to Bindum in the corner, who drives in, kicks it out back to Johnson. But we're going to have a foul on the baseline. I believe this one's going to go on St. Francis. Lewis Holy's going to pick up his second, team's fourth here in this one. 8.5 minutes left to play. 18-10 is our score. So we saw very high scoring games against not only by the Lynx and St. Francis in yesterday's game, but now today's game, much different side of story. I mean, really, 18-10 is our score. Again, we saw both teams well over the 20-point mark in last night's ball game, right at the halfway point in the first half. Johnson and the Lynx will have it underneath their own basket. He'll inbound it to Tyler. Back down low to Johnson. Johnson reverse layup. Count the basket and the foul as L.J. Johnson is going to have himself a day here, at least in the first half. And Johnson going to the line for an and one opportunity. And this is the type of kind of spark that I've been kind of wanting to see from Coach Lepp in this one. I mean, we've talked about it I know Adam and I have talked about it for a while, as he does make that free throw. And again, L.J. Johnson with 14 here already in the ball game, really carrying this Lynx team here so far. He's got, again, 14 of the 21, so I'm sure that's not what the University of St. Francis had in mind when they came into their game plan. And L.J. Johnson has not been kind of a role, I guess I should say it that way. I mean, I hate to say it for Coach Lepp, but again, he hasn't really been using him per se. This is only his second start. I mean, we've seen when L.J. Johnson's in the ball game, he put up, I think it was 17 or 18 against William Penn in the overtime loss, and he only played 9 or 10 minutes of that ball game. Well, who knows if he would have played, 25 to 30 minutes of that ball game. I'd look for him to kind of have about 25 to 30 minutes or so in this one. See how many he had yesterday. Johnson, he did play 25 minutes yesterday. So look for that to kind of continuously grow. But again, only the second time in the starting lineup. It's kind of like an unknown factor here for St. Francis. Kind of the X factor, if you want to say. As Julian Powell checks back into the game, here comes that 2-3 zone by the Lynx, as they're going to have to be careful. Here, I was watching shoot around earlier today. They were running through the plays, and this is St. Francis loves to kind of cut towards the basket, as Misek, who checked back in for St. Francis, has it poked out of bounds by Tyler, so they'll stay with the Fighting Saints with 15 on the shot clock. St. Francis set to inbound. And they have their starters back out there. As that one's poked away. Now they're going to get Bindum with a foul going for the ball on the inbounds. As, again, L.J. Johnson ran all the way down there and got it for the officials. So, again, when you're hot, you're hot. And he's feeling it here today. I would not expect him to come out of this ballgame anytime soon, especially with the way Coach Lepp likes to kind of sub and keeps his guys in there, especially if they're not in foul trouble. Johnson does have one foul, though. This is that 2-3 zone. as St. Francis hands it off to Thornton at the top of the key. In to the left, down low. Now, as that one's stolen away, back to Hughes. Hughes puts it off the glass, can't get that one to go, and we're going back the other way, as that was actually Oye Duran. As Tyler now to bind him in the corner, back to Powell at the top of the key. Again, look for number 0 as usual, as Freeman now with it. Johnson in the left side corner, bind him with it at the top of the key. He drives in right side lane, puts it off the glass. No foul called, but Powell, yes, is there for the putback. So Julian Powell also kind of getting going here. I believe he should have about 4 or 5 in this one. I haven't put him in the actually lineup yet, as St. Francis now coming back the other way. Mysek with it to the top of the key in Bailey. Bailey from downtown, no, as it's rebounded by the Lynx. Here they come in transition. Tyler with the rebound to bind them. Bounce passes one down low to L.J. Johnson, who's trapped in the lane. And now we have I believe a 3-second call going against L.J. Johnson. Kind of trapped in the lane there. He was double teamed. Really had nowhere to go, no option. And a quick 3-second call there. As here comes, looks like Mitch Cossigro ended the ball game. As he'll come get, looks like 22, Salmon Oyeduran. As Mysek now to Howard. To Bailey at the top of the key, across the court to Mysek, back to Howard. Howard in this 2-3 zone, some ball movement there by St. Francis. Howard swinging it out to the left, and Bailey back to Howard at the top of the key, thought about a 3, now drives in, dishes one down low to Badalasi, and he can't hit. That ball's tipped out of bounds, and they're going to say it was tipped into the backcourt, so it'll stay with St. Francis, as now, once again, a 3 from the corner, no good. This time it was taken by Casigro. As Tyler now with it, a jumper from the free throw line off the backboard, no. Powell's there as it's loose on it, right underneath his feet. Ball's loose on the ground. Howard picks it up for St. Francis. And Howard in transition to Mysek in the right side corner for 3, no. Halfway down, but cannot corral it. As the offensive rebound by Petro Badalasi loses it out of bounds, and it'll go to the Lynx. As here comes Montez Crumble and Darnell Latham Jr. back into the ball game. And Tyler and Freeman took a seat. And L.J. Johnson has not checked out of this ball game yet. He's got 14 of the 23. Lynx leading by 13, 23-10 as Johnson now with it. Draws a foul driving baseline. And it's only going to be the team's 6th for St. Francis, as that one is going to go on Badalasi. His first, team 6th in this one. As Latham Jr. set to inbound, he throws it into Johnson. Johnson from the corner, no. Tipped back out by Julian Powell, and it finds Latham Jr. It's a fresh 30 here for the Lynx as they lead it 23-10. And again, you can kind of hear Ryan Marks in his 6th season as the head coach here for St. Francis wanted an over and back call right there. Again, it was awfully close with Julian Powell, as now Crumble working on Howard. These two have been kind of going at it ever since JUCO and Parkland Lincoln days, as Crumble puts up a floater, drives in left side lane, and gets it to go. Kind of a contested shot there, but again, I think if I remember correctly, I'd have to go back and listen to some of the games, but I think when Montez was still, in his freshman and sophomore year here, I think I said that Howard was the only man who just took a 3 from the top of the key right there, couldn't get it to go. But I think I said Howard was the only man that might be shorter than Montez Crumble in any game that we play. And so far, I believe it's still right, as Crumble tried to come back the other way, take a transition jumper. He could not. As St. Francis pulls down the board, Howard now back out to Mysek. Mysek trying to drive in, puts a body on Powell. They say it did go in. No, yes, there was contact. However, though, no foul called, and it's 25-12 now. 4.5 minutes left to play here in this first half. And St. Francis Classic, both teams 1-0. Winners in last night's ball game for both squads. Winner wins the championship game here today, gets a little fake trophy from myself, and get a congratulations on the bus ride home if we can pull this one off, as Mysek in the left side corner for 3 buries that one this time. And all of a sudden, here comes St. Francis. They're now down by 10. 25-15. Crumble now with it. Hands it off to Johnson, now to Bynum. Back to Johnson. Look for him to drive into the lane. He does, puts up a floater, and you know it. Nothing but net yet again, and you hear that pretty sound from L.J. Johnson as he's done it 2 or 3 times already here in the half. Here comes St. Francis now back the other way. 3:45 left to go as that one's stolen away by Latham Jr. They have numbers here. A 4-on-2 as Latham going coast to coast with the left hand up and under Mysek, and he can't do it. And now Ryan Marks wants to take another timeout already, trying to talk things over. He's not pleased with what he's seeing here from his team today. And I can't blame him here in this one, as again, we knew that St. Francis coming in was going to be the better team. I mean, they play like a really, really high offensive team. They know how to score the basketball. They're all juniors and seniors from what I'm looking at. I only have, I believe, 1 freshman and 3 sophomores on this team. So this is a very experienced St. Francis team, especially with some of the transfers they have in here. And right now, they're hanging tough, but Lincoln just showing no mercy, leading the way here in this one. As also, too, St. Francis not shooting the ball particularly well here in the first half. Just 6 for 27 so far in the first 17 minutes. Good for 22%. As your Lynx shooting 41% from the field as of right now. St. Francis will have the basketball. Again, some more a little this 3-2 zone. As I believe we're gonna have a foul going against Julian Powell. It kind of looked like Mitch Asinagro kind of fell. I thought it was going to be a travel. They called the foul on Julian Powell. That's going to be his second, I believe. It is team's 4th. As St. Francis will have it, the inbound underneath their own basket, and now they throw it into Bailey. But Bailey trying to feed the big man down low, but it's tipped out of bounds by Tyler. So we'll stay right here, still doing it again. 3:20 left to play in the first half. 29-15 is the score. Lynx leading the way. As St. Francis, I think, led 3-2 at one point as that inbounds pass is stolen away by Tyler. Tyler now finds Crumble, and he's going to run point. You got to have L.J. Johnson in the corners. Crumble drives in right side lane. Now to Johnson. Johnson drives into the paint, puts one up off the glass, and gets that one to go. So L.J. Johnson, have yourself a day, kid, as he's got 18 here in this first half. Out of the 31 here for the Lynx. I'm sure that has to make Coach Ty a little proud there. I hope he's listening. Also, maybe Ant, his brother, he's somewhere down over here. He made the trip. You got to make them a little proud there. Mysek for 3, no. Johnson pulls down the board. Outlet now to Latham Jr. Latham Jr. now finds Crumble. He drives baseline, floater, no. Turner, offensive rebound with the tip, but he tips it out of bounds, and it's going to go to St. Francis. But again, this Lynx team playing very physical and very aggressive. Oh, there's Ant. He's up there doing the camera work. Again, he does a great camera work here for Coach Lepp's squad. Does more than just that as well. Have to give him a lot of credit. You got to give all these managers credit here in this one. They have to travel the same schedule we do and, still go to school just like the rest of us. So it takes all of us here for the Lynx, not just the players and the coaches, but to the radio staff and to the managers as well. So you want to give them a big shout out, as Durrell is another one, also with DeMario, as that 3 there from Bailey is buried in the corner by St. Francis. Make it now 31-18. So L.J. Johnson, as of right now, is outscoring St. Francis by himself, as St. Francis has 18 and L.J. Johnson has 18 as well. Latham Jr. now with it in the corner. A little give and go there with Hughes. Finds Johnson. Johnson catch and shoot from the baseline. No, just short there. Might be getting a little winded here as he's played the entire first half. Has not been taken out yet. As now Bailey from downtown uses the whole rim, and it goes. So Tyler going to get it across half court and kind of slow down the pace here just a little bit. Minute and a half to go, 31-21, as St. Francis now back within 10. Crumble at the top of the key, goes to the left wing with free throw line extended here for Latham Jr. Now to Tyler, back to Johnson. Johnson to Crumble. Latham Jr. now in the corner for three. Yes, as everyone thought it was going to number 0, L.J. Johnson, but this time Latham Jr. makes him pay. So now Cole Mysek will bring it up the floor. And this Lynx defense has been very aggressive here so far in this first half. Making them commit 5 turnovers as Bailey from way downtown knocks down another 3, and he's kind of trying to show off here with L.J. Johnson. So it might be the battle of the zeros here coming down the stretch. Johnson has 18 for the Lynx, and Bailey's got 9 here for St. Francis. As Latham Jr. now over to Johnson. Johnson back to Crumble on the right wing. We're at 30 seconds to play. Down low to Turners. That one's poked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Lynx here, but St. Francis kind of got some wind underneath them, and their defense really stepped up there. Here comes Tyrone Howard now back into the ball game. He'll get Mysek. And so far right now, Johnson 7 of 12 shooting. As Latham Jr. will just throw it back into the backcourt. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 25 seconds left to play in the first half. Crumble has that one poked away. There this time by Holy. Kicks it out now to Bailey. Bailey from downtown. No too strong. Long rebound. Gets his own miss. Put back. No. Short. Rebounded by Johnson. Johnson's just going to run this one down. He's got 10 seconds to go. He's going to have to hurry. He's going to pull it up. 5 to go. To Latham Jr. in the corner for 3. No. Rebounded by Bailey, and it's going to be poked away by Crumble. So that's how the first half is going to end. The Lynx running away. Well, not really. Can't really say running away with it, but playing a great first half as it's 34-24 here at halftime. Again, another one I want to point out, too. Again, L.J. Johnson, have yourself a day, kid. As, again, 18 points in that first half, and that's something that this Lynx team has really been needed. They needed to provide a spark here in this one, and you saw it. L.J. Johnson moved to the starting lineup, and this time it paid off here for Coach Lepp's squad. Again, really doing a great job here on the offensive and defensive side of things to kind of keep, again, St. Francis in check. However, though, one thing I did want to point out, though, one more thing about L.J. Johnson. I know I'm on him, but he's kind of been my guy. You know, he's the one that he talks to me on the bus. We kind of communicate really well. And one thing I want to point out, I asked Coach Lepp this morning at breakfast, just for L.J. Johnson, thank you, sir, as I had to give him a quick, I was like, hey, what made you go with L.J. Johnson in the starting lineup? I mean, to me, I felt like maybe that could have been done a couple games ago, but, you know, Lepp's the head coach, and you know what he told me? He goes, I got lucky. Well, I don't think he got lucky here today. L.J. Johnson is on fire. He's got 18 of the 34 right now. And if he cools off anytime soon, the Lynx might be in some trouble down the stretch. So he needs to go take a rest. I'm going to take a rest as well. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes or so for that second half. Lynx leading the way 34-24 as you guys are listening to Lincoln College basketball right here on 89X.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This is the 89X Lincoln College Basketball Halftime Show. I am Paige Fletcher. Today I have Zach Landers, the Director of Student Engagement, with me today to talk about student activities. Welcome. Why are student activities so important at Lincoln College?
Student activities or student engagement in general plays a huge part in student retention. Studies have shown that students that are involved or have a healthy level of involvement tend to do better academically. It curbs homesickness. It allows them to find a community on campus, and you really make this place their home. If you think about it, students spend almost 10 months out of the year away at college, so it's very important for them to get involved. And also just to keep them out of trouble.
What are some of the student organizations on campus that leave the most impact on students?
I think that it would be unfair to pick out just one student organization that leaves an impact. They all play their part in, providing a community for students interested in whatever that organization's mission is. We try to provide a variety of student organizations on campus. We also encourage students that may not find an organization that they're interested in to start their own organization, which all they need to do is find 5 like-minded members or interested students and a faculty staff advisor, and then they can start their own organization.
What are ways that students are informed about student activities at Lincoln College, Zach?
We try to use a variety of mediums to communicate what's going on campus. Once a month, I send out a student life calendar to both the students' emails and the faculty and staff. We post flyers around campus. Student organizations, as well as my office and the organizations I advise, use social media to communicate what's going on. So we try to use as much communication as possible and what's affordable for us.
So since you have been the student engagement director for many years, how do you believe student activities have impacted students since from the beginning to now?
Over the last 3 years, especially when Dr. Gerlach came to campus and we started this transition back to our roots as a 4-year university, nearly every facet of the campus had to change, including student engagement. So that, we, going from a 2-year to a 4-year institution, we no longer can do programs just for freshman or sophomore students. Now we have to consider programming for upper division students, the juniors and seniors. So just, we use a programming model. So we're using a variety or providing a variety of programs on campus, which, include, social activities and educational activities for students.
How do you think student activities can be improved in the future to leave more of an impact on students?
The number of activities and the type of activities we have on campus, 90% of the time solely depend on the students' interests and the students stepping up into a leadership role and planning, organizing, and implementing activities on campus. I can plan every and any event possible, but at the end of the day, if it's not coming from students for students, there tends to be, a lack of participation and interest on the students' part when, just a staff member is planning the activities. The students have to be involved and, be active in their own education and inside the classroom and outside the classroom.
Alrighty, stay tuned for the second half of today's game coming up next. This is Paige Fletcher. You're listening to Lincoln College Basketball on 89X.
In retirement, I thought my husband and I would enjoy going places together. Our son's drinking interfered with our plans. We worried about him and our grandchildren and didn't know where to go for help. We found help and support at Al-Anon family group meetings in hospitals, churches, and schools. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn at an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
They say that car crashes happen in slow motion. The reality is that crashes happen fast. There's no time to think and no time to check if your child is in the right car seat. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your kids in the right seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Get more info at safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
What are all the things you witness online in a day? Cats playing piano, selfies on your feed, your friend's picture being turned into a nasty meme that's been shared 50 times, 51, 52. When someone's being bullied online, it's hard to know what to do. Now you can speak up with the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I was sensitive to lights and sounds, so I built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. Sometimes I did the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And Shelter Pets makes super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org. This message has been brought to you by the Humane Society of the United States, Maddie's Fund, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it, so can you.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I didn't want to talk. She just sat with me. That was all I really needed.
We got back. One day he called me out of the blue, and it's comforting to know that I always can count on him to have my back.
She called me from time to time. I really didn't think I needed any help.
It took me from being really depressed to feeling like somebody cared. It gave me some hope. Just that one text.
Be there. Your call, your presence, your words, your support. Be there and help save a life. Learn more about preventing suicide at veteranscrisisline.net.
My boyfriend can't stop drinking until he drinks too much. A friend suggested Al-Anon family groups. She said there are no dues or fees. At first, I was afraid to go to Al-Anon. I felt like a fool to care about somebody who can't stop drinking. But Al-Anon members know exactly how I feel. If someone's drinking troubling you, you might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Our military service members volunteer to protect us in the most dangerous places around the world. They step up. And when they are severely ill or injured, returning to their families is only the beginning of their long road home. Wounded Warrior Project provides these brave men and women whatever they need to continue their fight for independence at no cost for life. So now it's time for a grateful nation to step up. Join us at findwwp.org.
When it comes to saving money, don't act like a baby.
Goo goo gaga.
Be the boss and make a budget.
I'm the boss, baby.
You're not the boss of me.
I am the boss of you.
Are not.
M2.
Are not.
M2.
Need a little help?
Aren't you going to do any work?
I'm very busy delegating.
Create a personalized savings plan.
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
And get other tools and tips at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
In retirement, I thought my husband and I would enjoy going places together. Our son's drinking interfered with our plans. We worried about him and our grandchildren and didn't know where to go for help. We found help and support at Al-Anon family group meetings in hospitals, churches, and schools. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn at an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
They say that car crashes happen in slow motion. The reality is that crashes happen fast. There's no time to think and no time to check if your child is in the right car seat. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13.
This with the basketball, they trail by 10, 34-24.
Don't think
here is again same starting 5, and LJ Johnson played all 20 minutes in that first half, as now he drives straight in as Hughes goes right to LJ Johnson, kind of bumps him out of the way, and he's going to draw a foul right there. So, and you kind of already saw it from Ryan Marks, the head coach here for St. Francis, as he kind of went right at LJ Johnson here to start the half. And now Howard with it, trying to feed the big man down low. He cannot. He actually runs it down as his outlet now stolen away by Johnson. And Johnson now down for the count. He looks hurt. As we'll see what gets said here again. One wants to travel, one wanted a foul. I don't see what they called. As, again, LJ Johnson tried to Now that, again, Ryan Marks is saying he wanted to travel. I mean, it was awfully close. And the official's saying he didn't have the ball. So now we're kind of getting an explanation right here in this one. And all in one motion there. Again, kind of hard to tell. They did say it was just tipped out of bounds. Awfully close. I think Marks might have a case, as now Latham Jr. drives into the rack, goes baseline and draws a foul right there. So he's now going to go to the line for 2 opportunities. And again, team's first foul here in the half, as that one's going on Bailey. Again, Bailey, like I said, battle of the zeros here in this one. He's got 9 here for St. Francis. And Latham does hit his first. Make it now an 11-point lead here for Lincoln, as Latham Jr.'s second one in as well. Again, also, just a quick update here. I know most of you are not Dolphins fans, but I'm a diehard Miami Dolphins fan, and comes from my mother, who was born in Miami, down there, was raised down in Florida. Again, we've been diehard Miami fans ever since. Our bucket list, our dream is to go there one day, and I'm sure we'll get there. Actually, we've never seen them lose either, as Mysick hits a three there for St. Francis, and it's now cut into single digits, 36-27 now. Here, still Lincoln leading the way, but again, Miami has been our home as Tyler finds Turner out to Latham Jr. in the corner for three, and you know it, so the Lynx answer right away back on the other end. 39-27 now, 18:45 left to play in this championship game, the University St. Francis Classic. Howard now over to Hughes, but again, Miami is my beloved team. I wish it was a home game for us. We will see St. Francis later in the year as Hughes takes a turnaround left-hand jumper and gets it to go. Back to 10. But I have this brand new Miami Dolphins tie I've been wanting to kind of show off here in this one. As Turner give and go with Tyler. A little bounce pass there as Tyler was cutting into the basket. Puts up a shot and draws a foul. Now they're actually going to say it was on the floor, as that foul's going to go on Howard. His second, team's second as well. Latham Jr. set to inbound. Again, just in case you were wondering, I know it took me a long time. Tyler catch a shoot off the inbounds. No, in and out goes Trayvon Tyler. That one almost fell for him. But again, it is 14-14, Miami versus the Colts in Indianapolis at halftime, as Howard takes a three, and he buries one right there for St. Francis, as it's now, again, 39-32 here in this one. So St. Francis is kind of creeping their way back into this one, as Crumble, triple team, lobs one up to Powell, almost too high. It's not really a thing there for Powell, but I guess it is, as it hits off the backboard. Turner pulls it down, then lobs it up again for Powell, and he kind of just comes right back down, kind of like playing like hopscotch up there, one of those toga poles or something. Just kind of keeps jumping up and down back there. Gets the easy two, though, to go. As now here comes Mysick back the other way, and he's going to finish in the right side lane. So it's 41-34, as now Powell yet again. What a pass there from Tyler to find Powell, and Powell is starting off the second half strong here as well. He's now got 10 in the ball game. And Crumble in the ball game, along with Latham Jr., Tyler, Turner, and Powell, as they feed the big man down low. Turnaround baseline jumper, no good by Hughes. And here comes Tyler back the other way here for the Lynx. Tyler feeds it to Powell down low, give and go with Turner, and Turner is in, and they're actually going to call goaltending there, but it ended up going in anyway, as Samson Odeiron got a piece of that one. And here comes Freeman back into the ball game along with L.J. Johnson. Let's see if L.J. Johnson can continue his strong first half. In some more 2-3 zone here by the Lynx, as Mysick takes a step back three, and he's really starting to heat up too here for St. Francis, as it's 45-34 now, 16 and a half minutes left to play, as Mysick now has 18 on the night after that three. Got to add 15 plus 3. Johnson now with it to Tyler at the top of the key. He's guarded by Howard. Over to Johnson. Johnson trying to cut one into Tyler. Now down low to Turner, but it's going to be stolen away there by St. Francis. And into the hands of Lewis Holy. He finds Howard. Here comes Howard now back the other way. Holy with it at the top of the key. And it off to Mysick. Mysick guarded by Freeman. He's going to try to drive in. Bounce passes one down low to Holy. It was there, but just a little too far wide, as that one goes out of bounds, and it's a turnover by St. Francis. Here comes the Lynx rather quickly here in this one. Tyler now with it on the right wing, trying to feed Powell down low, but Holy's taking that away. Instead finds Turner. Turner out to Freeman. Freeman in the corner for three. No. A wide open look, and now we have a foul 90 feet away from the basket, as I believe that one's going to go on J.J. Turner. And it will. So that's his first, team second. So again, I have to like the officiating, not just in this game, but in the other game as well, as really the fouls have kind of stayed down. These officials have really let these guys play. And I think that's what coaches and players want to see these days, is Mysek takes a turnaround jumper, and he buries that one home right there. 45-39 now. So, again, the Saints sneaking their way back into this one. As, again, we are at their home floor. They're taking Powell away down low out to Johnson. Johnson on the left wing, going to take that mid-range jumper that he loves so much, and he banks it in right there. So he's now got 20 on the night. And that's his first 2 points here in the second half, as now Coach Lepp wants to talk things over. 30-second timeout. Again, though, however, this Lynx team doing pretty well here so far. Again, taking a look at some of the stats from the first half. Like I said, Johnson's got 20 on the night, but the Lynx shot 41% from the field in the first half. Again, right now shooting an even 45%. So far, or I should say 46%, thanks to L.J. Johnson. They finally updated up here. 19 of 41 is Lincoln. Three-point line, though, still a little shaky, but right where you'd want it to be. Not really in bad shape in this one, as at the half it was 38%. Right now we're at 37%, 6 for 16 from behind the arc. And again, the free throw line's perfect last night. Still perfect again here today. So, you know, I'm not going to jinx them or anything, but we did not practice free throws in shoot around. So I don't know where this is coming from. Maybe these guys just got a grip on them and know that the free throws are critical. Because, I mean, there's been probably about 3 or 4 games where had we made some free throws, we probably win those basketball games. As Howard now with it at the top of the key, 47-39, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Bounce passes one to Holy, dishes it off to Howard. Howard from behind the arc. No, ball's tipped out and into the hands of Bailey for St. Francis. They got a fresh 30. Howard now to Mysek. Mysek, he's got 20 on the night as well. As Freeman gets a piece of that one, finds Hughes, though, at the top of the key. He's trying to drive in on Turner. Tyler and Bailey are right there as he drives baseline. Bounce passes one to Mysek in the corner for 3. No, off the front of the rim and short. Powell pulls down the rebound. Bounce pass now to Tyler in transition. No look pass to Freeman in the corner. This time catch and shoot yet again. And this time Freeman doesn't miss, as he buries the 3 from the left side corner right there. 50-39. Now back to an 11-point lead here for the Lynx. Here comes Tyrone Howard. Now to Mysek at the top of the key. To the top of the post on the right side lane for Hughes. Working on Turner. Now he faces him to Mysek. Mysek tried to take a 3 from the corner, but blocked by Trayvon Tyler, and then kind of had his legs taken out from underneath of him by Mysek. I mean, there's just a little bit of a tie-up there between the... And I think after that block there by Tyler, he's going to actually end up drawing a foul on Mysek, going the other way. Oh, they're going to say it was tipped out. No, they're going to say it was a foul. Second one there for Mysek, team's third. Again, Riley Goulet checks back in here for St. Francis. Turner now with it at the top of the key, finds Johnson. Backdoor pass to Turner, who is driving left side lane. Again, this Lincoln team, they're kind of taking St. Francis's game plan and turning it around and playing against them. As, I mean, the whole bus ride over here was all about watch the backdoor cuts. Watch the backdoor cuts. They'll burn you every time. You're going to have to blitz the ball screen. And sure enough, it's us that are ending up kind of doing some backdoor cuts here in this one. Second free throw is in by Turner as well. 2 of 2 from the line. 52-39 now. Again, you can hear Ryan Marks not happy with the way some of these officials have been calling the game here. I thought it was a little close as well for Turner as they feed the big man down low and Holy, and he'll lay it up and in for an easy 2. So St. Francis now back down 11, 52-41. Johnson with it on the left wing to Tyler in the corner. Takes the bounce pass down low to Powell. Now trying to work on the big man. No look pass down low to Johnson. Johnson makes his man miss, and he cashes underneath the basket right there. So again, this Lynx team is tough to stop here today. Again, like I said, they're shooting almost nearly 50% here in the ball game. Also not something we are used to seeing from this Lynx team. I'm hoping, Ant and I were talking the other day, one of the managers here is that one, Holy goes up again, right side lane, no good. Ball's tipped and out of bounds. It'll say last touch by the Lynx, so it'll stay right here with St. Francis. But Ann and I were talking, we were rooming with each other last night, and, we were just talking basketball, in this one, and we were talking about how the Lynx really don't have a true identity. We don't really have that specific, kind of like go-to type of player. I mean, Trayvon used to be it, but now you have it's not just Trayvon. It's, Trayvon, Johnson. I mean, even Freeman at times coming off the bench, even Darnell Latham Jr. as well. I mean, you got some critical scorers along with Julian Powell down low to kind of even everything out as Goulet from downtown. No, Turner pulls down the board. Even speaking of J.J. Turner, hit 2 big threes in the game the other night. So you never know what this Lynx team is capable of. They just got to find it and play together and put it all together here, and you're seeing it this weekend. Johnson now with it in the left lane. He feeds it down low to Powell. Powell double team, splits it, and puts it up and in. You hear the bench yell and one, but didn't get the call, and it's still 56-41 now. And Lynx kind of matching every shot for shot as that one's kicked out of bounds by Tyler. It'll stay right here. So keep it right here. 56-41, 11 and a half minutes left to play here at the University of St. Francis in Joliet. The St. Francis Classic. Again, both teams 1-1. Or 1-0 here in the tournament. So a win here gives you the championship, as now we have a foul away from the basket, and they're going to put it on LJ Johnson. So it was away from the basketball. Johnson not happy about it. You always kind of wonder, is this where the coaching kind of comes into play a little bit? As that's Johnson's third, he's going to have to take a seat. But you wonder if that's kind of like the way, that's what coaching does. You're supposed to kind of help out your players as much as you can, and maybe Ryan Marks, arguing with these officials so much, kind of bought him a call right there, and St. Francis back the other way as Gomazel bounce passes one out of bounds, and now Coach Marks wants to take a timeout as well. We'll stay right here. 56-41, 11 and a half minutes left to play here in this one, but going back to that officiating crew, I mean, like I said, I think they're doing a pretty good job here today, but I mean, I'm sitting right next to the St. Francis bench, and I'm sure you can hear Coach Marks yelling into not only at the officials but into the microphone as well. I mean, he's about 2 feet from me, it feels like anyway. Sometimes I can't even hear my own thoughts because he's yelling so much, or it comes from the bench or whatnot. But you always kind of wonder, you always wonder what the officials have to say to the coaches. What do the coaches have to say to the officials? And you can hear that he's been yelling, can we get some calls going the other way? Can we get some calls going the other way? And sure enough, I mean, we only have 3 team fouls in this half, but LJ Johnson has 2 of the 3. And you don't ever want to say it, but you just never know sometimes that maybe they know, they can see the scoreboard. It's on today. They know that number 0's got 20 points. We're at St. Francis. Just kind of giving you some hypothetical, situations here. Not saying one way or the other. But again, the Lynx cruising so far in this one, 56-41, kind of just really matching St. Francis as much as they can in this one. Again, right now, though, I mean, the Lynx doing their part. They lead by 15. Their largest lead has been 16, so kind of right around the same spot here in this one. And nobody in close to a double-double yet. But Tyler and Julian Powell both have 7 rebounds apiece. Maybe look for Trayvon Tyler as Turner hands it off to Freeman. Freeman, who just came back in, has it poked away. Ball's still loose on the floor and ends up in the hands of St. Francis. Here they come now with Howard back the other way. Howard, little give and go. So he gets it back. Howard now to Kuzmazel. Back to Howard at the top of the key. Bounce passes one now to Holy. Holy to Howard. Howard at the top of the key. Thought about a 3. No, instead kicks it to the left wing, and Turner's there for the block on Holy, but he gets his right back, and he'll drive to the lane and put it up and in. So kind of a breakdown possession there, worked out in favor of the Lynx, but unfortunately St. Francis was in the right place at the right time as Tyler now trying to size up his man, drives into the lane, puts a floater up, can't get it to go. Powell pulls down a rebound, kicks it back out to Turner. Turner to Tyler. Tyler catch and shoot from the left wing. No, too strong. That ball's tipped out of bounds, and they're going to say stay here as Turner was fighting for it. Can't see who the St. Francis player was. It's Lewis Holy. He's diving on the floor as well. Saying both players going hard for the loose ball. Ends up out of bounds. Last touch by Holy, so it will be Lincoln basketball. Fresh 30. 10.5 minutes left to play here in St. Francis as your Lynx lead 56-43 as they'll throw it into the backcourt here for Freeman. Freeman, Turner, Tyler, Latham Jr., and Powell as Freeman drives left side lane, puts up a floater. No, just a tad too strong. Almost an over and back there by Freeman. Good thing to lay off as St. Francis pulls down the board. Here comes Baladesi back as he'll kick it back out to Howard. Howard with it now at the top of the key. Gets a screen, goes to the left side of it, doesn't even use the screen, now picks up his dribble to Balalasi, now back to Howard. Howard now, guarded by Freeman, he's trying to drive in to the corner, now in Goulet, who hits the three from the left side corner. And that's really how St. Francis is going to get back into this ball game as Tyler trying to push the pace to the corner now, and Latham Jr. trying to answer. Yes! So the Lynx answer with a three of their own here in this one. And it's almost like good news, bad news for St. Francis as now Coach Lepp calls a full timeout right here. 59-46. 9:41 left to play here in this ball game. Again, crazy game so far. I thought this was actually going to be a much closer game, and we're still far from over. Still have 9 minutes left in this ball game as Bailey's going to check back in here for St. Francis, along with Tashigro. He'll check in as well. But again, this is a St. Francis team that is kind of just, they're just not shooting the ball particularly well. Lincoln's shooting the lights out right now, 23 of 48, 47% from the field. Here is the Lynx. Really not missing a whole lot. However, St. Francis, though, just 18 of 50, only shooting 36% from the field. And then, like I said, both teams from the behind the arc, you see it, St. Francis, they're starting to go to more of a perimeter game where they're trying to set themselves up for a three-point shot. And like I said, they're making them. It's not that they're not making them. They've hit 10 threes in this ball game, and they're down by 13. Just because the Lynx have hit 8. We're shooting 42% from the three-point line, and they're shooting 34%. But once again, it comes down to the free throws. Anyone want to take a guess of what the Lynx are from the free throw line? You got it. 100%. 5 for 5 from the free throw line here. And St. Francis has not attempted a free throw in this ball game. So it shows you the defense there by the Lynx really cracking it down as we've watched Trayvon Tyler and his kind of recruiting class would say something. I believe he said something. Mark said something about he had something on his hand. Didn't see for who he's talking to, but Bailey now kicks it over to Segro. Now hands it off to Balalotti. He drives into the lane, spin move, and hits it about off the top of the rim about 4 or 5 times, and then falls for him right there. They get now 59-48, and St. Francis just kind of hanging around as Johnson had Turner wide open in the middle of that 2-3 zone. Instead, didn't see it as Johnson now to Turner. Turner in the corner for 3. No, too strong. Johnson pulls down an offensive rebound, though. So the Lynx will set up their offense yet again. And Johnson, he's got 4. They get now 5 rebounds in this ball game. He's got 22 to go along with that as well. As Turner's trying to feed Latham Jr. or Tyler. Didn't quite see as now Tyrone Howard has blood on his jersey. And that's what head coach Ryan Marks was trying to say. Official said he didn't hear him. But it's okay, though. Howard knew exactly what to do when there's blood on the jersey to stop the pace here from the Lynx. Is just trying to slow this offensive rhythm down. It seems like every time St. Francis does something, the Lynx have an answers. They throw it into Balalotti as Turner's hands went straight up there as he'll finish underneath through contact. No foul called as it makes it now down back to single digits. 59-50 now We'll see if the Lynx can respond. This is a team that we've seen when they kind of get into like 7 or 8 points, and after leading by so long, they kind of hit cruise control, as now Johnson takes a shot, no good, cannot get it. Bailey pulls down the rebound. Hopefully these guys didn't go into idle mode here down the stretch. Mysek runs in. He can't get the floater to go inside the lane. They're going to say it was last touched by us, as 2 St. Francis players were standing right underneath the basket and tipped it out of bounds, but they do say it was last touched by Lincoln. They say it did hit the shot clock as well, so they'll put the fresh 30 on, which I can agree with that as well. Here comes Montez Crumble into the ballgame. He'll get J.J. Turner. So Lynx kind of going a much smaller lineup, 4 guards, and Julian Powell. As Bailey over to the corner here for Malinauskas. He cannot hit. 59-50, 7:45 left to play. Tyler and the Lynx coming back down the other way. Over to Johnson. Johnson now to the left wing in Latham Jr. Jr. trying to drive into the lane on Goulet. He puts one up off the glass and gets that one to go, as Latham Jr. now, he's got 15 on the night. And hopefully you guys watch the Facebook Live as well. We're trying to get not only just some more viewers, but I really want to know kind of your guys' thoughts on those. As Bailey drives in, puts up a shot, can't get it to go, did not hit the rim. As he finds Mysek, it was an offensive rebound. He goes up and under over Powell, and he'll finish underneath. 61-52, continue a 9-point lead. Here comes Tyler now back in transition, trying to go coast to coast, puts up a shot, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, though, by Powell, and it's going to be stripped away by St. Francis. No foul called. They got a 3-on-4 fast break as they find Bailey. Bailey from downtown, no good, way off. That was an air ball, but saved by Goulet into the hands of Latham Jr., who almost lost it. Now outlet to Tyler. Tyler had Julian Powell to throw up a lob to, and now we're going to have a blocking foul going against Bailey as Tyler drove in. So he'll go to the line for 2. And Tyler just went over to Powell and said, hey, my bad, man. I probably could have threw that one up to you. But instead, way to be smart. That's what we want to see from Trayvon Tyler. Buries home the first one right there. Again, Lynx still perfect from the line here so far, as Hughes checks back into the ballgame here for St. Francis. And back to what I was saying, though, about the Facebook Live. If you want to see something, just comment below on those Facebook Lives. If you want to see maybe a coach's interview, or, you know, maybe do it on the bus ride there, different settings. I mean, I just want to know what you guys might want to see, what you might want to see coming down the stretch for these basketball games. I mean, sometimes I can only be creative so much, and maybe you have a different perspective on something that may help me out. So I'd love to talk to you with that. Again, like, comment, share all these videos as much as you can. As Hughes with it. There's a trap, double team. Here comes St. Francis with 1 on the shot clock. Has to throw up a prayer. No. Can't get it to go. Did hit the rim, though, however, but Powell pulls down the rebound. 63-52 now. Under 6 minutes left to play here in the St. Francis Classic. Crumble, Tyler, Latham Jr., Johnson, and Powell, as they're just going to kind of give and go around the perimeter. As Tyler takes a step back 3 from the corner. No. Just a tad bit short, as it's pulled down by Goulet here for St. Francis. Bailey now outlet to Hughes. Hughes is going to catch and shoot, give them all the space in the world, as that one right over the head of Julian Powell, as it's going to be offensive rebound to Bailey. Bailey wide open for 3, and he's going to hit that one every time. And defensive breakdown there for the Lynx, as they left Bailey wide open, and I don't think that's the man you want to leave wide open. He's got 12 here in this one. Now here comes the Lynx now back the other way. 5 minutes to play. 63-55 now. Tyler with it on the left wing to Johnson. Johnson's going to catch and shoot from downtown, and we haven't seen that in a while, but he's going to bury that one as L.J. Johnson knocks down a jumper. He's got 25 here. Cooled off a little bit in the second half. Only has 5 points. Or I'm sorry, 7 points to go in this second half, as Mychek trying to answer for three. No, that's their dangerous three-point shooters. That ball's tipped around four times, and then Hughes ends up coming down with the rebound, as now that one's poked away by Tyler. Tyler on a fast break all alone, and he'll just lay it up and in. I'm still waiting for that dunk. I might have to give him some grief about that one, as, you know, I know Tyler, we want to see him throw one down, and he kind of did earlier when there was a foul called, so I thought maybe he would have tried it right there, as a timeout was taken by St. Francis. They want to talk things over. It seems like every time they get close, I mean, they get it down to within, 7 or 8, and then all of a sudden, this Lynx team just, I don't know, provides a spark of some sort and just buries a three from the corner, or Tyler gets fouled, or, I mean, it's just one of those things where, and then, like I said, Tyler gets fouled, and you're kind of worried about what are they going to do from the free throw line, because we've seen so many, iffy situations already in this first 10 games. So with that being said, you kind of hold your breath there a little bit, but so far this tournament, I mean, I really don't want to jinx them, because it'd be a highlight reel for them, not only winning the tournament and going 2-0, but you would also be perfect from the free throw line the entire tournament. 14 of 14 in the game one. Right now we're 7 of 7 so far in this ball game. I mean, not something the Lynx can say or used to say. So I kind of dig, I really do dig that in a way, especially for the Lynx. That might be a little bit of a confidence booster here in this one, as we're getting set to go. And starting five, except for Powell. He checked out of the ball game. I believe J.J. Turner checked in for him. 68-55, 4.5 minutes left to play here in the St. Francis Classic at the University of St. Francis in Joliet. They have the basketball, but the Lynx have the lead, as Crumble and Tyler, aggressive backcourt. Howard now has to feed Hughes. He drives baseline, back to Howard, swinging around to Bailey. Bailey on the right wing, puts up a floater, and he hits. And good ball movement there by St. Francis. Even good defense by the Lynx, but you make him throw up a little floater, and he buried it. That puts 14 now for Bailey, as Johnson now with it over to Latham Jr. He thought about a three from the corner. No, back out to Johnson. Johnson and Lep's offense, you know how they go. Take 20 seconds off the shot clock before they even decide to do anything, as here comes Johnson. He's going to drive into the lane, puts one up off the glass. No, but Turner's there for the putback and follow through. L.J. Johnson wanted a foul, does not get one, though, as we're under 3.5 to play. 70-57 lead here for the Lynx. Mysek now trying to drive in and throws it right to his head coach, standing out of bounds. And that's not what he wanted in mind, as, again, the head coach not wearing a uniform, so he is not allowed to play here in this one. And this is going to be a turnover by St. Francis. 70-57, 3:20 left to play, as, again, L.J. Johnson will run point now. So he's going to throw it over to Tyler. They don't want another backcourt violation on a miscue there, and that was of their own fault this time, as now Johnson kind of lost control of it. 11 seconds on the shot clock. He's standing near midcourt, over to Latham Jr. Jr. trying to feed Turner down low. Instead, he's going to drive to the rack, feeds Turner down low. Turner up and under move. No, that ball's tipped into the hands of St. Francis. St. Francis now kind of reading the way here for Lincoln down the stretch, as a little give and go there from Mysek to Bailey. Bailey from downtown, or I'm sorry, that was Howard who took that three. No good. And here comes Lincoln, as it was rebounded by Montez Crumble. Tyler now, again, this Lynx team, they're going to take 20 seconds off the shot clock, as they're going to force St. Francis to kind of come up and play the basketball here. We're at under 2.5 to play now. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Tyler still just dribbling around. He gets a screen from Turner, and he takes a step back as he goes towards the right side corner. It was a long two, but buried there by Trayvon Tyler, as he now has double figures here. He's got 11 in the ball game. Mysek now trying to drive in. He drives into the paint, stops at the free throw line to Hughes. Over to Howard. Howard in the right corner, and we're going to have a jump ball, a tie-up between Howard and Trayvon Tyler. Again, those two have gone back and forth a time or two here in this one. Jump ball position now in favor of the Lynx. So they will get the ball back here with, again, a tick under 2 minutes left to play. As now here comes Samson Oyederan. She comes in for Hughes. He'll check out. And 2 minutes to play, 72-57. A couple more baskets here by the Lynx, and you could say this one could be all but over, as now we have a foul going on Trayvon, against Mysick. As you can see Trayvon they smiled at each other there for a little bit, so I look for those two to kind of chirp a little. And Trayvon Tyler, we all know that he's not the man to chirp with. As Turner trying to feed Johnson a better pass. He probably has an easy layup, but instead he'll back out with 15 on the shot clock. Johnson still holding it on the right wing, now moving towards the top of the key, back to the right wing. More towards the corner. He's going to take a step back jumper, and he buries a three. And yet again, Coach Lepp going to take another timeout here after an offensive bucket by his team. And again, almost like a home field advantage here for the Lynx, as again, like I said, a lot of the players are from the Chicago area. So a lot of their family and friends are here in attendance for the Thanksgiving tournament, you should say, and they're kind of getting a little bit louder than maybe some of the St. Francis fans. Here, Mrs. Lepp's over there, and along with, I believe, I can't see who some of these other are, but I think I saw Trayvon Tyler's parents here, and along with I believe that was his girlfriend last night. I think some Freeman's parents were here. We've seen them saw them over at Robert Morris. I think Latham, his parents are here as well. And let's see here. You got a few from the Chicago area. I mean, J.J. Turner, I'm sure his parents are here as well. And I saw Turner talking to someone, but I mean, Latham's from Chicago. Freeman's from Chicago. Turner's from Chicago. Tyler's from Rockford, which is close enough. Especially if you're from Central Illinois, it's definitely Chicago. And they'll tell you otherwise, but as Bailey takes a jumper, no good. That long rebound, still loose on the floor, ends up in the hands of St. Francis. Now Howard with it at the top of the key. This time he'll knock down the jumper. And now Ryan Marks wants to talk things over here. So these last couple minutes are going to come down to the stretch. Lynx lead by 15, 75-60 with a minute left to play. Well, minute 8 if you're being technical. But again, you got a lot of these kids from the Chicagoland area. You know, they want to perform well for their parents, you know, especially since they don't get to see them play as much. They have to, listen to me instead of seeing them play. But with LCTV now, more than happy to be able to watch the game live, the home games anyway. And you can always watch those lives if you're in the Lincoln area. Channel 5, remember, those will be streamed live as well. However, though, if you miss, or you're missing some of it, you can't make it, can't sit in front of your TV and order pizza, or you can't be at the game for some awfully reason, just make sure you download the app. Just type in LCTV at Lincoln College, and it will pop right up. It's a free app, so, I mean, why not? You could easily be sitting at Thanksgiving dinner listening to the basketball game just like, everybody else does. Who wouldn't want to? I know that's what my mom does anyway, as it seems like everywhere she goes, it's like whether she goes out to eat with my dad, it could be their anniversary, it could be whatever, and it don't matter what the situation is. She's got the phone out, she's listening, or depending on if we're at home, she's watching the game as well. And that's not just her, it's thousands of families and friends, and hopefully, the community of Lincoln as well. Teachers, faculty, as that one's a baseball pass to to Johnson, as he kind of sneaks that one away. It's stolen there by Mysick. Over to Howard. As now we have a foul going against Trayvon Tyler. Coming back the other way. I thought it was on L.J. Johnson. That was going to be close, but instead it's going to be on Tyler. That's only Tyler's first foul. Team's fourth in the half. Neither team in the bonus. They both have some fouls to give. As Howard, they'll throw it into him at the top of the key. To O'Dearan. Now to Mysick. He's trying to drive in left side lane to O'Dearan in the corner for three. No, short. Tyler pulls down a huge board for the Lynx. We're under 45 seconds to play. 15-point lead. Here is Tyler's going to go coast to coast. There was the dunk that I was waiting for, but instead he misses. And I'm sure that one's not going to go great as Mysek comes back the other way, and he'll lay it up and in for the easy 2. So now we have, looks like J.J. Turner's shaken up a little bit, kind of comes up limping. It looks to be okay, but it looks like it's something in his right knee. Kind of shaking, got him shaken up a little bit. Julian Powell's going to check back in. Coach Lepp yells that we have a timeout if you need it. We have 3 remaining as Latham Jr. finds Johnson. Johnson going to be fouled hard by number 13. I mean, just kind of shoved him into the bench there. That was Lewis Holy. No technical foul has been given. I don't believe it was on purpose either. It was just kind of a hard basketball play. Johnson, may have flopped just a tad. I mean, he was still thrown to the ground, but you know how basketball players are. They try to sell everything these days. He is going to go to the line, though, for a one-on-one opportunity. And nothing but net as he sinks the first one here. Need probably, if he can make this, Lynx would more than likely go perfect from the free throw line in this entire tournament, which is not something the Lynx can usually say. So I'm very proud of them for that as well. Knocks down the second one, and that gets a little clap from the fans that are still here in attendance for the Lynx. As we're under 30 seconds to play now, the Lynx kind of have this one in hand. Shot clock turned off. They find Oyad Diran, who can't make the shot, but Holy is there for the offensive rebound and putback. I just dropped my pen somewhere. I don't know where it went. There it is. They'll throw it into Powell. Powell's just going to hold it here in this one. And Powell over to Latham Jr. 5 seconds left to play. And that's going to do it here as your Lynx sweep in the St. Francis Classic here in this one as their winners 77-64 over the host team, St. Francis Fighting Saints, here in this one. Now, again, credit to the Lynx, man. They played absolutely phenomenal in this ball game. Again, did not miss a single free throw from the line. 9 for 9 here in this ball game. Perfect from the free throw line this entire tournament, which you have to be pleased with if you're Coach Pat Lepper. And also as well, and the Lynx shot the ball really well here today. 29 of 61, 47% from the field as a team to go along with 10 of 23 from behind the arc for the Lynx. And that's the type of Lynx team when they play like this. This is a tough, tough team to beat here in this one. As again, though, that's going to do it all here for the Lynx. Is they're going to, the Saints kind of giving it up. They kind of give it up to their, kind of like hockey, clap for their fans here in this one. Got to appreciate the sportsmanship they show to their fans. I kind of like that as well. They also have a penguin down here with a T-shirt on. I don't know exactly if that was supposed to bring luck or not. But again, what a great game they had there. 77-64 was the final. Again, leading the way, though, for your Lynx, as we all know. Thank you, sir. Got some stat sheet. I was getting ready to announce it right here. But Johnson, L.J. Johnson had 30 on the day. He had a 30-piece, first one of the year for a Lynx player. Followed by Darnell Latham Jr., who had 15. And then followed by, let's see, Julian Powell, who had 12 and 9. He was one away from a double-double, along with Trayvon Tyler. He was 1 point and 1 rebound away from a triple-double. He had 9 and 9. Not something we're used to seeing from Trayvon Tyler, but he had 8 defensive rebounds as the Lynx, again, pulled down a total of 38 rebounds, and that's twice now where we've been out-rebounded in the last few games. These past two, we've out-rebounded both teams by about 6 to 5, 5 or 6, somewhere in that area. Lynx, I mean, they're scoring the ball great. I can't wait to see what's in store coming down the stretch here for the Lynx coming up. I mean, we still have a tough stretch, but I'm so happy that this road trip, this 6-game road trip is over. We are ready to be back. You can tell that it was growing on us a little bit here in this one, and really that took a toll on everybody's body. So with that being said, we're going to be happy to get back to the Jack D. Nutt Arena. I believe it's going to be tomorrow, where your Lincoln College, your women's team, will actually take on Roosevelt University. That'll be at 5:30. Again, Adam Hoffman and Nick Jackson will be on the call with you there. So no breaks continue for us. But, however, though, we're always here for you as well. Again, thank you so much for sticking with us. So we'll stick with you. Thank you so much for listening. Your Lynx win by the final score of 77-64 over St. Francis University. We will see you guys tomorrow night in the Jack D. Nutt Arena for the Lady Lynx. Thank you so much for listening to Lincoln College basketball right here on 89X.
That's all she wrote. This concludes tonight's coverage of Lincoln College basketball on 89X.